However, are there any corrections? With that being said, I'll entertain a motion for approval.
I'll make the motion for approval.
We have a motion by Eichenbrook,
I'll second
by Commissioner Kirschbacher. All those in favor?
it.
All those opposed? Motion passes. That brings us to item 6, to convene the meeting and enter into public session. I will entertain a motion to enter into public session.
I'll make a motion to enter into a public session.
We have a motion to enter into a public session.
I'll second.
We have a second. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? With no opposition, we enter into public session. First item up for discussion in public session to hear from people in attendance would be item A, zoning map amendment for rezoning for Daniel Stump, South Peak Road, part of parcel 33572. Would anyone like to speak related to that matter? That moves us to item B, zoning map amendment to rezoning Eugene Frederickson, Highway 55, parcel 40398 and part of parcels 40378 and 40394. Is there anyone here that would like to speak in regards to that matter?
If you have a question.
Okay. No one wishing to speak. That brings us to C, conditional use permit for Gene Frederickson Trucking and Excavating for Highway 55, parcel 40398. Any comments? No comments. I will entertain a motion to close public hearing.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to close the public hearing here this evening.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? No opposition. That brings us to 7, which is the closing and reconvening of regular meeting. Number 8, old business for discussion, consideration, and or action. Is there any old business that village staff would like to address?
No.
Commissioners? That brings us to number 9, new business for discussion, consideration, and or possible action. A, zoning map amendment, rezoning for Daniel Stump.
This is a rezone application request. Sorry, this is a rezone application request. The CSN came to the last planning commission in December. They are looking at building the secondary residential lots, the residential parcel, excuse me, on that property. In order to do so, one of the conditions of the CSN was to rezone it to single family residential. The CSN has been signed. It was approved by the village board. The county has just not yet created the parcel. That's why the map shows that way. But if you look at the parcel rezone, that's what the CSN was. And it's just rezoning that parcel that's along South Peak Road.
So are there access points to that proposed lot 2? Outside going through area 1?
Yes, it's essentially a flag lot on the CSN. The entrance would be on the very southern portion part of the parcel. So they'd go along that as using that driveway to the back of that house. Lot 2.
So if you're looking at this exhibit,
Their driveway for lot 2 will go in on this white area, and then the lot 1 will be serviced off of another driveway off the corner. And as we understand it, the reason they're doing this is because they want to build these ADA accessible house for a mother to live in.
Is this the original homestead? I'm gonna call it for lack of a better term.
Yes.
Yeah. Are there any questions? If there are no questions, then I will entertain a motion.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to approve the zoning map amendment rezoning for Daniel Stone, South Coop Road as parcel 33572 is printed and circulated with staff's recommendations.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
We have a second. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? No opposition? Motion carries. That brings us to B. Certified survey map CSM for Boyd Easton Schmidt Road, parcel 33278.
The applicant is looking to essentially split that parcel into two to make two residential lots. The proposed CSM will divide the parcel, one being about 1.35 acres and lot 2 1 acre. The purpose again is to create two buildable lots. There's already two access points there, two existing access points. One's in the middle of lot 1, one's near the western edge of lot 2. The only condition that staff has is that construction of a principal house on either lot 1 or 2 would require rezoning both for each parcel to rural residential.
And does that rezoning align with the village's current 5-year plan?
It does. That area is not sewered and watered, and the surrounding residential properties in that area are also residential.
So would it require like a mound system and, well, is there an existing small structure there, like a shed or something?
There was a cabin and a small shed, and the village issued a raise order on it to make them take it down because it was in disrepair. So I think right now there's just a small little like accessory shed left on the property. But they took the main principal structure down with the left gate.
And the plan is to raise the small shed in the rear as well.
Do you have any questions? If there are no questions, I will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to survey map for Easton Schmidt Road, parcel 33278. Dividing that property into two separate buildable residential lots based on the recommendations from the board.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second it. I'll second it.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? No opposition, motion carries. That brings us to C, site plan review for Eugene Frederickson, Highway 55, parcel 40398.
The next three items are all related, and it kind of kicks off with the site plan here. It's regarding Eugene Frederickson. They are looking to build out a site for a trading contractor building, and then also have a separate topsoil shredding operation that's going to be located in the northern part of the parcel. And with this, the site plan includes a 60 by 180 foot building. There'll be multi-tenant. Use of the building will include office space for staff. Building and fabrication areas, having equipment storage and equipment maintenance and repair. The west street facing elevation will consist of metal wall paneling. And I think what staff really wants to also communicate that this is part of a CSM that was before the board last board meeting, that CSM was approved. Some of the conditions that are important on the site plan is that the proposed site address is either going to connect to the future Unison Drive to the north or off of Highway 55 to the west. Currently, staff and the developer are working with the Wisconsin Department of Transportation to figure this out. However, one of the conditions are that official Department of Transportation approval for commercial entrance is required prior to the issuance of any zoning or building permits for that building. However, once the engineering and site plan are approved, that does allow the developer to proceed with site grading and preparation for the future topsoil shredding operations. There's a landscaping in your packet. There's a site plan. There's also landscaping. Most of the parcel is landscaped or is bermed with landscaping. And if you see that, there'll be a stormwater pond in the southeast. The shredding operation will be to the north in a gravel area. That area is a little low. That area will also be screened by the landscape berms. I think it's also pointing out that the nearest resident property is Gene Frederiksen, who is looking to develop this property as well.
So Josh has a profile that it's about a quarter mile south of where they did dirt last year.
Correct. They shredded dirt. It's closer than that. They shredded dirt in the corner of in the eastern portion of the parcel field 378. They've had two conditions.
Yeah, everything starts dark brown light.
Yeah, they would just be moving this down to the south.
Yeah.
And as we get to the conditional use permit, they're kind of building up the area to completely screen that in.
Okay.
They'll have a little housing.
We are gonna shred inside our whole building. Just to, obviously for water, reusable, controlled wind, you know, so we're not upsetting neighbors or cars anymore.
Can someone just give a brief summary as to what a shredding operation is?
Shredding topsoil, so like any dirt you pick up from like Schmaltz Landscaping or Van Nuys or it's pulverized dirt, so basically you pick up the topsoil, run it through a machine and it makes it real fine. Basically for like gardens, lawns, basically you just run it through there, kind of screens it, takes the rocks out, just kind of blows it on a pile.
And this is where a couple years ago, there were some neighbor concerns related to dirt, things of that nature, which is, I'm guessing, why you're being proactive with going inside the hoop house.
Oh yeah, the hoop house is for obviously to control the wind. We obviously don't want it rained on. So, because you can't sell wet dirt, you can't move wet dirt. And then the wind, obviously, we don't need it blowing everywhere or anybody complaining that, you know, cars are getting dirty. I mean, there's no health concerns with the dirt because you can't move contaminated dirt without somebody else's approval, so.
Yeah. Actually, the big pile they had out there last year, there was no issues with it. So 2 years ago, there would be a lot of resistance, but then when this past year, that whole pile went from top to bottom and there was no issues with the community over there.
Okay.
I think the difference here this year, to Mark's point, is the fact that it's burned and landscaped and it's gonna be done in a facility versus out in the open as the way it's been for the last couple of years. So it's a huge improvement and we appreciate them making that investment to do this versus just doing it out there and bringing the winds in the right direction.
Is there a noise component to this?
A little bit, but I mean, it's no different than a tractor tilling up a field or something, no, but I mean, The only reason we kept it here, you know, we moved it down to get it away and then also because of the future land use map for the village shows, you know, basically a commercial corridor, so we just wanted to get the zoning right and it, you know, additional permits needed to kind of put this whole thing together.
So Josh, the way this is laid out here, should we just combine C and D together? Or should we vote on that separately?
I think they have to be, they have to be voted on separately.
Okay,
Yeah, and there's different conditions in each
okay,
in each agenda item.
fair enough.
Any other questions? Commissioner Schumacher.
Is this operation open to the public and so it'll be for sale?
Typically, no, to the general public, no, because I don't think insurance allows just general public just to walk in and grab whatever. So typically, we just sell it to like a vendor, like a landscaper or something like that, and then they distribute as they see fit.
Thank you.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion then to approve site plan review, Eugene Ferguson, Highway 55, parcel 40398 as printed and circulated with staff's recommendations.
Before we go to a second, do we have any further questions?
The only comment that I would make is that, I don't believe the certified survey map that was approved at the last meeting has been recorded, so before this is, allowed to proceed, they need to record that certified survey map to create these lots the way it will. Working, that's a condition number 8. Okay,
Working on it diligently, believe me.
sounds good.
And your motion includes all conditions, correct?
That's correct, all conditions, yes.
So with that, I will entertain a second.
I'll second that.
We have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. That brings us to item D, zoning map amendment, also for Eugene Frederickson, Highway 55, referencing parcel 40398 and part of parcel 40378 and 40394.
This is a rezoning request and it would pertain to the same property. Once the the legal description of the rezone matches what the CSM, which was approved by the board last meeting, it would rezone that parcel from business park to industrial manufacturing. The future land use map does list that area as industrial. And the building that they're putting up is probably more to an industrial type building and something that would show business parks.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, it's the building, not the operation of manufacturing that's going on. The shredding doesn't require it to be considered industrial manufacturing, but the size of the building and the other components.
It's more the building, they did shred in an area that was zoned business park, the last 2 years. So the building's more of an industrial use than a business park use.
Do we have any questions? With no questions, I will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the zoning map amendment for Eugene Frederickson, Highway 55, parcel 40398. And part of the parcels of 40378 and 40394, and based on these staff recommendations.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
I'll second it.
We have a second. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. That brings us to item E, conditional use permit for Eugene Frederickson Trucking and Excavating in Highway 55, parcel 40398.
Under village ordinance to screen topsoil, you do need a conditional use permit. And this is for the same area as the site plan and the rezone. Some of the conditions to note is that the site shall be screened and developed to the intent of the site plan. And all berming shall be completed prior to the start of any topsoil screening. Hours of operation would be limited to daylight hours. Topsoil screening shall only occur from April to November.
If this is being done indoors, why is it confined to daylight hours?
There's 6 to 6. I mean, it's summertime, landscapers work late, so I mean, depending on just whatever they need, I guess.
That's what I'm saying, why is
Well, it's
there,
not technically indoors. There's, the building is just to screen it inside.
Yeah.
For the pile's blown inside a hoop building, there's really not indoors.
like a Quonset hut with outsides kind of?
Basically, yeah.
I'm sure there's a chance for soil to escape from, I mean, with the right wind or whatever, I mean, there's a chance.
Yeah, I mean, we're just trying to minimize the stuff.
We just don't want them going everywhere in after hours because we have a noise ordinance.
Yeah, I'm not gonna shred dirt at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock at night.
Machinery and the noise and stuff.
Yeah.
The noise, it's better just to have it 6 to 6. But all right. So is this a 1-year thing or?
There's no time limit on this, so they're building up the site, with the idea the conditional use would apply moving forward to what, it's not set for a time by year basis. One of the conditions is also that any substantial violation of these conditions may result in the termination of a conditional use permit. So basically, like I said, they're building up the site that it's more of a permanent thing.
Okay.
So should there be issues in the community moving forward, it's something that can be reevaluated. I understand if someone's putting a significant investment, you obviously want to ensure that they can do what they're investing to do. And it sounds like, significant progress has been made to, I don't want to say appease the community, but make sure that you're being a good community steward and minimizing the impact. If there's an uptick in community complaints related to dirt, noise, etc., that we've seen historically several years ago, is that an option then to review the conditional use permit, or does it specifically has to be a violation of one of these conditions?
I mean, complaints from residents would fit in there, so it would be, if we can't resolve it at the staff level with the owner, we need to bring it back to the commission to decide what they want to do going forward.
I mean, that's kind of why we're just trying to do rezone to industrial, so we can allow us to do it, put the building up, then we can move it in there and screen it, so. With the building, with the trees, aesthetically pleasing, do it during working hours when either, majority of the population is at work or. Whatever to limit the noise and I guess things like that.
Well, one thing I would say is in the past, they just ate in the field and there was no structures to break the wind or do anything. So the investment that they've made currently is a good one. And, we hadn't, like Mark said, they hadn't had any issues last year when we were monitoring the wind direction and the wind speeds and those kinds of things. I think they really, and where they're doing it, the only impact really is to Jean's house, which is directly east of there. There's nobody else really around this location.
So it's a lot user friendly site compared to what last year, there's no issue, so.
Right.
So this should be a slam dunk.
Correct.
And I appreciate the effort because anyone that's living by the being constructed subdivision is larger noise that
Well, yeah,
what you're putting out there, so.
and with it being on Highway 55, I mean. I'm hoping to bring a tax base to Highway 55 as well. So, I mean, there's gonna be construction going on, so I mean, I just kind of wanted to keep it in like-minded areas, not just ram it in the middle of Kimberly and go to town,
Any other questions? All right, if there's no other questions, I will entertain a motion.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to approve the conditional use permit, Gene Featherston, creating 155 So 40398 is printed and circulated with, staff's recommendations.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? No opposition, motion carries. That brings us to F, which is the December 2025 zoning report. Mr. Sherman, anything you'd like to share?
Only that it summarizes the year-to-date permits, and for single-family residential, we had 122 new residential permits last year. That was an uptick over the previous year of 108.
What falls under miscellaneous? Is that your deck siding, random permits of that nature?
Yes.
Right.
Any other questions?
Yeah, and so interest rates have dropped under 6% now for houses, so that will, sure, housing will. Lots permitted in the remaining areas, I'm sure this will be a good year coming.
Alright. No other questions? That takes us down to item 10, any future agenda items? No future agenda items suggested, that brings us to 11. The next tentative plan commission meeting, which is always contingent upon materials needed to be discussed, is tentatively scheduled for February 17th, 2026 at 6 p.m. With that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
I'll second it.
We have a second, all those in favor? Aye. Motion, or meeting adjourned. You guys are a little switcher than my finger button, but we get a little better.
It's like this. Practice makes perfect.
That's yours.
Practice makes perfect.
So